Hello, everybody. Welcome to the fourth installment of the Coaching CTV with Toyinda. I am a best-selling author, business consultant, master coach, and the creator of three programs that help to transform and develop others. I am so excited to be here again with my ministry leader, Pastor Tony Fairley of the House of Refuge Church in Hartsville, South Carolina. He is a preacher, a leader, a businessman, a prophet of God, a wonderful husband to my co-pastor, Sandra Fairley, and he is a grandfather and so much more, so much more. But we've been discussing leadership, how to grow and develop other leaders, as well as how to allow other leaders to move on from the ministry if that is what the Lord is saying. And today we are back in our candid conversation about leadership. And we're going to talk a little bit, Pastor, about the fact that every coach needs a coach, the fact that every leader needs a leader. So, who do you have that's supporting you in your ministry journey?
Again, sis, thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Thank you.
I have been blessed to have a dynamic woman of God,
Yes.
Apostle Kathy Matthews of Fayetteville, North Carolina,
Yes.
as my overseer for now going on about 12 years.
Wow.
And I have just been, like I said, blessed to be able to say that I'm connected to her. She's the type of woman that she sees potential and she cultivates that
Wow.
in me as a leader,
Wow.
even though I'm doing the same to folk that are up under me.
Yes.
God always puts you in contact with people of like minds. He'll do that sometimes unbeknownst to you. You won't know it. And when I first met her, like I said, I've been in business for 20 something years now, self-employed. And I always believed that there was more to ministry than just coming to church,
Wow.
preaching a message and going home. And when I really got to know her, I noticed that she was an entrepreneur as well.
Wow.
And so it, with me being in business, that really registered for me. She not only ran ministry and did it well, very phenomenal ministry, but she ran a daycare through the ministry. She had rental properties that the ministry owns, and she was just moving and shaking it, and it just blew me away. And I said, wow, look at God move. And I just knew then it was a divine connection. And I can always call her and say, I'm having a situation. I need some help. Help me with this one.
Yes.
And she knows know where to go and what to say at the right moment. So
Wow.
it's been a great help to our ministry.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
one last thing is,
Please.
she's never been so overbearing. She's secure as a leader herself.
Yes.
That she will. She always said this: if I can't help your son, I won't hurt you. But one of the things that really got me, and this is where we talked about security.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
She said to us when we first got together, she said, when a person has a place in my heart, you never have to worry about it. We cannot be together. I can be around 15 other people, but when you have a place in my heart, you never have to worry about where we are. And so I did the same thing. I'm learning now to show the ministers that you have a place in our heart, and you're going to always be number one in our eye.
Yes.
You know how God has said you're number one in my eye. So we make our ones that are up under us feel the same way,
Right.
and that's what we gain from our leader.
Yes, you and co-pastor do a wonderful job at that. I know for myself, I came up in a Church of God in Christ, and everything was so strict, right? I'm not saying anything negative about Church of God in Christ. Grew up in it, and because things were strict for my personality, right? I'm more of a free bird. My life is an open book. I ran from the ministry. I said, I'm gonna do church after middle school. Then I'm in middle school and I'm like, oh no, this is fun. I'm gonna do church and high school. High school was fun. I'm gonna do church in college. College has come and went and wasn't doing church, right?
Yeah.
I was churched, right? But I wasn't being a doer of the word. And what I found is that you and co-pastor are doing a phenomenal job, just holding us accountable and keeping us accountable. I remember in one of our ministerial development classes, you said, listen, you all have to live the life, right? And you all have to walk worthy of this call. And I look at that as accountability. It helps to provide critiques. If you see that we're not doing things the way it should be done or what's pleasing to God, that you even bring it to us. So I value that you have a leader, and that your leader, apostle, talks about having a place in her heart, and then you give that to us and let us know that we also know where we stand with you. And so that's a big deal in leadership. I could only imagine, right? So I have 33 coaches in my coaching program, and I can't keep up. However, what I do say is, if you need me, you have my phone number, right? So I pop in and I encourage and I lift up, but I can't keep up. And so it's interesting because you have 7 leaders with 7 different personalities that you're leading and growing and developing. You are also, I'm going to say, tri-vocational. I don't even know if that's a word, right? But you have a like a mechanics shop.
Yeah.
You are a realtor, and you are a pastor. Share with me what you are doing to stay balanced, or at least integrated, being tri-vocational, if that's a word.
Great question. Well, everything else is secondary, tertiary, other than the call.
Yeah.
I'm a pastor first.
Yes.
Everything else just comes behind it. The other things, like Pastor D was saying, are just hobbies. So when you understand that, I learned Miles Monroe, rest in peace, great man of God who taught. He said, I believe in one of his teachings, that our job as leaders is to preach yourself out of a job. Mm-hmm. And so when he left, his ministry continued on. Yes. And so he had equipped people so much so that they were able to carry the ministry on without him. Mm-hmm. And so our job, or our understanding on working with people, and I know you ask about the other things. Those things, they come, but my first job is to work and nurture, right? So as we begin to develop folk, we are getting to the place now where we're, like I said, preaching ourselves out of position. You said something in one of our earlier broadcasts about the John C. Maxwell Bible. I bought my Bible years ago, and I set it on the shelf. But see, one of the strategic things about God is I was not in the position to lead anyone, because I was still, in a sense, being led myself and trying to grapple with where God wanted me. But it was only until God walked me into that threshold of leadership that he said, now you got to pick this back up. So we're going through phases and phases. And what's happening now is I was preaching more. We were doing one Sunday she'll preach, the next Sunday I'll preach. Well, now God has gotten us where we are now evolving, going from glory to glory. Yes. And we're doing more leadership training. Yes. So much so that I made a mention that this is the first year that I think I could not go to church. And we still have a church.
Did you all hear that, Pastor? Say it in your camera.
Up until this year, up until recently, this has been the first time in our ministry, and we've been in pastoring for 15 years, that I cannot go to church on a Sunday morning and still have a church Monday morning.
That's huge.
And that's because folk have bought into the vision, bought into the leadership, submissive, and then are hungry enough in God to carry it. And so our job now is to be strategic,
Yeah.
and know who to put where.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. You mentioned, and I love this, right? You said now, we're in a space where we feel like we can take a Sunday off, and feel comfortable that the ministry is intact, things are being done decent and in order, the way we, in excellence. How did you get to that point? Because that's key. Many leaders in the business world, on to ministry, we're like, we gotta be there. Yeah. How did you get to that point?
Where God got us there, because it goes back to the hunger that's within the leadership that's up under you. Because if you desire, you're supposed to have a portion of our DNA, God's ultimate DNA, but you're going to have some resemblance on leadership, because pastor does it this way, pastor said this, and you've gleaned from first lady, and so you put these things together with what God has given you. And so when you know that we've had ministers that come up and they would go on a little bit too long, and I said, come here a minute, let me share something with you. And so what happened was they received that, and when they receive that and they remain teachable and pliable, it makes it easier to get to that vision of hands-off ministry.
Yes.
And that's what we're going for.
Yes, so you all are both present and invisible. You're visible and invisible. Right. And for me, being under your leadership and learning in the ministry, again, I shared, I'm learning the other side of ministry. And so me having an opportunity to learn under you all is, it really is, my word would be, it is transformation for me. Because I have dealt with rejection, and a lot of individuals with prophetic voices who walk in the office, you are going to deal with rejection. And how I used to handle it is I would just pull back. So, okay, well, I'm going to go here. But I've learned to be able to handle critiques under your ministry. I've learned the importance of handling critiques under the ministry. And I believe that is a part of why, or what is causing you all to be able to take a Sunday off, because the leadership team is able to handle critiques. So Pastor, just in 10 seconds, what would you like to share with pastors? Just in a nutshell, you got 10 seconds. What do you want to share with them?
Well, I don't want to say that I am qualified to speak to pastors, but I can simply encourage leaders who are building other leaders to seek the face of God, and see what God is saying for that individual leader and what He's saying for your ministry. Because most of the time, if not 100% of the time, God is trying to take that leader to another space. And that leader cannot go to that new place if the place that he's leaving or she's leaving from is going to be left void. So seek the face of God. Trust Him.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Pastor Fairley. I appreciate you. How can individuals get in contact with you? If they want to get in contact with you, and just look in that camera and let them know how they can get in contact with you.
Wonderful. We are at 111 North 5th Street in Hartsville, South Carolina. Every Sunday, 11 a.m. service. Every other Sunday, 4 p.m. service. So come out and visit with us. Love on us. PastorFairley@gmail.com. You can reach us. We'd love to see you. God bless you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us with the Coaching Seat TV. I am Toyinda, and we'll see you next time. Hello, everybody. I want to invite you to purchase my book, The Handbook to Unleash Your Potential in 6 Practical Steps. If you are struggling with stagnation, suppression, and being stale in business, in leadership, in ministry, this book is for you. I give you 6 practical steps to achieve in life. Hey everybody, I want to invite you to a phenomenal virtual opportunity. My colleagues and I are hosting the Champion Coach Conference. This conference will take place on Saturday, June 27th, and it is virtual. I want you to check the link below. Welcome to the Coaching CTV with Toyinda, where we're all about sitting in our seat of authority so that the kingdom community can be infused with the power to dominate confidence, unleash potential, and leave a legacy. This is accomplished through extracting limiting beliefs, distractions, and interferences. I am so excited for the opportunity to be on Dominion TV with the powerful Dr. Dutton and Pastor Lynette Dutton. Make sure you download the app for Dominion TV, as well as catch this broadcast every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. I want you to share it with your community, your clients, and your customers.